I was in the guest room, repairing a loose cabinet hinge, when I heard her laugh echo up from the attic studio, clean, polished, and sharp as glass. The kind of laugh that doesn't just dismiss, but belittles. That ring? Just a trinket from a garage sale, Leighton said, her voice syrupy with mockery. The camera light caught the glint of it on her hand. My mother's ring. Emerald set, worn smooth with years, now reduced to a punchline for her followers. The chat exploded, rows of laughing emojis, flames, hearts. Someone typed, LOL savage loudly crying face loudly crying face. Another chimed in, garage sale queen. Face with tears of joy ring. She read the comments aloud, giggling as if the audience were all sitting with her in that staged attic. Behind her, the bookshelf stood in perfect symmetry, color-coded spines, not one cracked. A set piece for credibility. A lie. She had never read a word of the authors she showcased so proudly. They were props. Like the throw blanket draped just so over the chair. Like the ring she mocked while it caught the soft glow of her studio lights. Leighton leaned forward, eyes sparkling under the carefully arranged ring light. Oh, this old thing? You guys are too much. Honestly, it's just a cute little find. I think I got it for, what, $5? Total steal. She twisted it for the camera, her manicured nails flashing with every turn. The chat surged again. Donations dropped in. Her smile widened. She was feeding. I set down the screwdriver. Slowly, deliberately. The hinge in front of me no longer mattered. That ring had never been a trinket. It had been my mother's last gift to me before the hospital swallowed her whole. Leighton knew it. She had heard the story. How my mother wore it every Sunday. How she said it carried luck. How I'd kept it in the safe for years before finally trusting someone enough to let them hold it. And now, it was a punchline for strangers. I stayed quiet, breathing steady, hands folded on the cabinet door. The attic above hummed with Leighton's voice, polished and practiced, every word designed for hearts and likes. She had always been careful with her image, always 2 steps ahead when it came to performance. But tonight, she slipped. She thought the ring was hers to spin into a joke. She thought the story was hers to rewrite. She was wrong. I didn't look at the screen right away. I sat there on the floor, the cabinet door half attached, my screwdriver resting neatly across my knee. Leighton's voice floated down through the ceiling, light and airy, her laugh punctuating the comments streaming in. Just a trinket, she repeated for effect. She wanted the moment clipped, shared, replayed. The chat kept climbing. At Urban Chic Life, LOL Garage Queen face with tears of joy. At Ash and Amber, that ring looks fake anyway. $10 donation from at Glow Guru. Iconic. Love your vibe tonight. My phone buzzed against the wood floor. I reached for it. Not fast, not dramatic, just steady. Her stream was open, running smoothly in crisp HD. Leighton, in her cream blouse, hair in loose curls, smiling with the kind of poise only practice can buy. She tilted her wrist toward the camera, giving the ring one last spin. That's when I typed it. 11 words. No caps, no punctuation. Just enough. Funny, that's not what Jake said when he bought it off me last week. I attached the photos. The first, Jake, her office best friend, grinning like a fool in the same ring, his arm around her shoulders in a rooftop shot from 2 nights ago. The second, a close-up of his hand holding a champagne glass, the emerald unmistakable. I hit send. The chat flickered. The message appeared mid-scroll, wedged between emojis and donations. For a split second, it almost looked ordinary. Then the reactions came. At Silken Stone, wait, what? At Jesse Reeds, who's Jake? At Tina XO, he bought it off you? Receipts, please. $20 donation from at Mirror Truth. This tea is scalding eyes. Leighton froze mid-smile. Her laugh cut short, lips parted just slightly, as if the air had thickened. She tried to blink it off, but the silence stretched one beat too long. Viewers noticed. She started, reaching for her smoothie. The straw clinked against the glass. That's just, you guys, don't believe everything you see in the chat. Her voice cracked. Faint but enough for trained ears to hear. I stayed silent. Didn't add a word. Didn't need to. The chat did the work. At Everly Moments, she's deflecting. At Truth Hurts, where's the denial though? At Cloud9, we need an explanation right now. She shuffled in her chair, adjusted her hair, then tried for a laugh. Too late. Oh my gosh, you guys. Jake is just a friend. Those photos, she paused. Blinked hard. They're, really old. Like, months ago. I refreshed the feed. Already, screenshots of her private messages were surfacing. On one, her text to Jake. If he asks about the ring, I'll just say I lost it on a jog. Another. God, I hope he doesn't notice. I hate that thing anyway. Her cheeks colored under the studio lights. She stammered. Okay, honestly, this is ridiculous. People are taking things out of context. But the audience wasn't buying it. Donations stopped. The chat had turned, emojis replaced by questions, by accusations, by demands. At Reality Check. So the ring wasn't a garage sale find? At Spilled Tea 101. She lied live on camera clown face. At Lux Loyal. This is gross. Unsubbing RN. She read faster, trying to regain control. But the harder she tried, the clearer it became. The polish was cracking. I set my phone on the floor beside me, leaned back against the wall, and breathed. No rage. No smile. Just stillness. On screen, Leighton forced another laugh. Guys, come on. Don't let trolls ruin our vibe tonight. But the damage was done. In the upper corner of the stream, the viewer count dropped by hundreds, then thousands. And all I had done was type a single sentence that I didn't check the stream again that night. I didn't need to. Silence is its own evidence, and hers was deafening. The next morning, 7:42 a.m., my phone buzzed. A notification, Twitter. Leighton's name trending. Hashtag garage sale ring climbing fast. I poured black coffee, sat at the kitchen table, and tapped the headline. Influencer Leighton Carter called out for lying to followers. There was the screenshot, her holding the ring, caption, just a trinket. Beneath it, my chat message. And then the photos. Jake, rooftop champagne in hand, the emerald flashing like it had been waiting to betray her. By 8:15, Reddit had entire threads dissecting every detail. Users pulled up her old posts, cross-referencing jewelry shots. Someone dug up a February story where she bragged about the ring being family heirloom chic. The side-by-side comparison was brutal. One comment stood out, already gilded twice. If she'll lie about a ring, what else is fake? At 9:03, a video clip surfaced. Not mine. A viewer had screen-recorded the exact moment she froze mid-laugh. Her smile dying, her eyes darting, the chat flooding around her like rising water. The caption, when the mask slips live. I sipped my coffee, let the bitterness sit on my tongue. At 9:47, another leak. Screenshots of her private messages. The ones I'd seen before. They moved fast. Twitter threads, TikTok stitches, Instagram stories. Leighton joking with Jake. If Marcus ever asks, I'll say I dropped it jogging. And the reply, LOL, just say you hated it. Her curated image, minimalist, authentic, aspirational, was unraveling in real time. At 10:32, a lifestyle blogger posted, imagine mocking your husband's late mother's ring on a live stream. Unforgivable. 40,000 likes in under an hour. I set the empty cup in the sink. The house felt unusually still. Not peaceful. Waiting. At 11:16, Leighton went live again. I didn't watch, but the clips reached me within minutes. She was in the same studio, same shelves of untouched books, hair pinned back this time, face a shade paler under the ring light. Hey guys, she began, voice tight. I just want to clear something up. There's been some misinformation going around. Her chat wasn't the flood it used to be. Slower. Colder. At Truthfinder, just say sorry. At not buying it, why lie in the first place? At Ash and Amber, is Jake there with you now? She pressed her lips together, forced a laugh. Look, the ring. Honestly, it's not a big deal. I shouldn't have joked like that. It's sentimental, actually. The clip ended with her wiping under one eye. Though no tear fell. Comments called it Oscar-worthy. By noon, her sponsors were tagged. Hashtag Leighton's ring mockery appeared in the sidebar under trending topics. The word mockery stuck. It wasn't just the ring anymore. It was her. At 1:14, someone uploaded a side-by-side TikTok. Leighton laughing about the garage sale trinket next to screenshots of her messages about pawning it if necessary. The caption read, authenticity for sale. It hit 500,000 views in 2 hours. At 2:09, I got the first call. Unknown number. Straight to voicemail. A clipped female voice. Mr. Carter, this is Madison with PR. We'd appreciate a call back to discuss the situation regarding Leighton. I didn't return it. At 4:22, Leighton posted an Instagram story. Just text on a beige background. Sometimes people twist things to hurt you. I'll be taking a short break from streaming. Love you all. Replies weren't kind. We saw the receipts. Break equals waiting for the storm to pass. Too late. By 7 o'clock that evening, news outlets picked it up. A 2-minute segment on a lifestyle channel. An anchor shaking her head, saying softly, "Viewers feel betrayed. Trust, once lost, is hard to regain." I didn't watch the whole thing. The point had been made. At 9:13, Olivia texted me. Just one line. "She's unraveling." I put the phone face down on the table. The hinge I'd started fixing yesterday still lay unfinished. But there was no rush. Some things are better left broken. By the third morning, the silence had shape. It wasn't just quiet. It was heavy, like a blanket someone had pressed over the whole house. I woke at 6:42 a.m., brewed coffee, and scrolled before the machine even finished dripping. Leighton's face filled the feed. CNN's lifestyle segment. Influencers suspended amid ring controversy. Business Insider. From authenticity queen to hashtag Leighton's ring mockery. A late-night host's monologue clip was already viral. Imagine calling your dead mother-in-law's ring a garage sale find. Yikes. I poured the coffee, black, no sugar. Sat at the kitchen table as the headlines refreshed. Hashtag Leighton's ring mockery had overtaken hashtag Olympics 2025. Twitter's trending sidebar crowned her the week scandal. At 8:05, her company posted a statement. I read it twice. "We are aware of recent concerns regarding content shared by Leighton Carter during a live stream. We take matters of trust and authenticity seriously. An internal review is underway. Ms. Carter is suspended from brand activities effective immediately. No defense. No denial. Just effective immediately." I saved a screenshot. Timestamps matter. At 9:12, a clip circulated on TikTok. Leighton's face, pale and makeup-free, in what looked like her car. She whispered, "I never meant to hurt anyone. People twist things. It's so unfair." The comments tore through her like glass. At Truth Hurts, "You twisted it yourself." At Cloud9, "Where's Jake now?" At Silent Witness, "Apologize to Marcus. That's who you hurt." By 11 o'clock, sponsorship lists were public. A popular blog compiled a thread, every brand that had pulled back in the last 24 hours. 8 names. 2 of them worth 6 figures a year. Her empire wasn't bleeding, it was hemorrhaging. At 1:26, Olivia called. I almost didn't pick up, but I did. "You see the company's statement?" she asked, her voice clipped, efficient. I saw. "She suspended Marcus. That means the paycheck stops. You need to be ready." "I am." A pause. "Good." She hung up. "No goodbye?" That's Olivia. At 2:40, a Reddit AMA went viral. The title, "I used to work with Leighton Carter. Ask me anything." The user, verified with old photos, claimed she'd been insufferable, dismissive, always angling for the spotlight. One reply read, "She once mocked a junior staffer for wearing thrift store shoes. Said on Zoom, 'You'll never make 6 figures and pay less.'" The internet doesn't forget. It archives. It curates. And now it curated her downfall. By 4 o'clock, Lifestyle Podcast had entire emergency episodes dissecting the ring scandal. One host murmured, "When you build a brand on being authentic, one lie is all it takes." The irony? Leighton had always preached that same line. At 5:19, a friend of Jake's posted a photo. The two of them, rooftop, champagne again, but this time with Leighton cropped out. Caption, "Some people don't deserve the truth." The comments were merciless. At Gossip Line, "So it was him." At Tea Time, "She lost everything for this clown." At Amber Lane, "Marcus deserves better." I didn't comment. I didn't even like a post. I just watched the tide pull her under. By 7 p.m., the local news covered it. The anchor's tone was almost pitying. From thousands of fans to trending hashtag mockery, Leighton Carter's fall raises questions about influencer trust in the digital age. Her face on the TV looked unfamiliar. Tired. Cornered. At 8:22, her Instagram bio quietly changed. She removed brand ambassador. Removed 3 sponsorship tags. Left only. Taking time to heal. Broken heart. I set the phone down on the counter. Watched the clock tick past 8:30. She was unraveling exactly on schedule. By 10 o'clock, I knew. The scandal wasn't hers alone anymore. It had become a case study. A lesson in overexposure. And she was the example, preserved in screenshots, hashtags, and reaction videos. Her empire wasn't falling. It had already fallen. The rest was debris. The scandal played out online, but the damage at home was quiet. Surgical. By the time the headlines stopped climbing, I had already moved the first set of pieces. Monday, 6:15 a.m. I brewed coffee in silence, opened my laptop, and logged into the trust account Olivia and I had set up 2 years ago. Cascade Trust. At the time, it was for estate planning. Now, it was the vault. The house transfer papers were already waiting. Olivia had notarized them the previous Friday, back when the ring was still just a rumor. I clicked submit. The deed slid from both our names into Cascade Trust, with Olivia listed as primary trustee. Within 3 minutes, the home we'd shared was legally out of Leighton's reach. At 6:28, I called the bank. Routine tone, no emotion. Please remove Leighton Carter as an authorized user on both accounts ending in 2471 and 6820. The representative hesitated. Sir, may I ask? You may not. By 6:41, her access was gone. At 7:02, I changed the door code. A simple string of numbers, memorized without writing it down. The lock beeped softly. The old code blinked red. At 7:19, I forwarded my calls to voicemail. Not silence exactly, just controlled quiet. By 8 o'clock, Leighton's followers were still debating hashtags. By 8:01, her credit cards declined. At 9:14, I received a text from her. Hey, my card isn't working. Did you forget to pay? I didn't reply. At 10:22, another. The house code isn't working. Are you home? Can you open the door? Still silence. At 11:45, a call. Straight to voicemail. Her voice cheerful, rehearsed. Hey babe, weird issue with the bank and the door. Could you give me a call back? Thanks. I saved the voicemail. Timestamps matter. At 12:03, I got a screenshot from Dawn, a mutual friend. Leighton had posted on her private group chat. Anyone else's husband suddenly act like a psycho? Lock me out of the house, lol. Replies poured in, half joking. Girl, what did you do? Face with tears of joy. Change the locks back, loudly crying face, loudly crying faced. You're still hot. You'll bounce back. I didn't answer her. I didn't explain. I didn't need to. At 3:15, the electricity company sent a notice. Account holder name changed to Cascade Trust. Automatic payments rerouted. Utilities safe. By 5 o'clock, the joint account was down to $1,042. Enough to keep appearances for 30 days. No more. When she came home that evening, the code blinked red again. She tried twice. Then knocked. 2 sharp taps, followed by silence. I didn't get up from the chair. The phone on the table lit with her call. Straight to voicemail. Inside, the air was still. I sipped black coffee, cool by then. At 7:30, Olivia texted me. She tried my number. I didn't answer. Good, I replied. By 9 o'clock, her Instagram story was up. A photo of her suitcase on the porch. Caption, sometimes the people you trust most hurt you the worst. The replies weren't kind. You mean the ring people? At least you still have Jake face with tears of joy. Her empire was already gone. Now her home followed. At 11:11, I wrote the note. For words. Contact your lawyer. Marcus. I slid it under the door. The next morning, I walked into the kitchen at 6:40 sharp. The hinge I'd left unfinished days ago still sat on the counter. I picked up the screwdriver. Attached the hinge. Closed the cabinet. It clicked shut with a finality that felt almost ceremonial. Leighton wasn't in the house anymore. But her shadow lingered. And soon, even that would be gone. It didn't take long. Scandals never stay confined to the public sphere. They seep into the halls of companies, into boardrooms, into HR inboxes with subject lines that begin with urgent. Thursday, 8:14 a.m., I received a message from Dawn. One word. Check. Attached were 2 PDFs. Both stamped confidential. The first was an audit summary. Leighton's expense reports over the past 18 months. Reimbursements marked client recovery. Hotel suites. Spa packages. A rooftop dinner labeled business development. Prospective client. The receipts were meticulous. Too meticulous. Enough to signal someone who thought paper trails were invisible if the words were vague enough. The second file was worse. Photos. Leighton and Jake, the office best friend. Champagne in hand. His arm draped over her shoulder on a rooftop lined with lantern lights. Both laughing, heads tilted too close. The kind of laugh you don't fake. Timestamp. March 14th, 9:23 p.m. The same night, She'd told me she was in Chicago for a leadership panel. I scrolled without reaction. No tightening jaw. No skipped breath. Just acknowledgement. Evidence doesn't need emotion to carry weight. At 9:02, HR at her company issued a statement to internal staff. We are investigating reports of policy breaches involving expense claims and possible violations of our code of conduct. Employees are reminded to review Section 4 of the handbook, Workplace Relationships. Dawn forwarded me a screenshot. Her name wasn't in it, but everyone knew. Everyone always knows. By 11:17, a Slack leak surfaced on Reddit. Employees joking in hushed tones. So rooftop dinners count as client recovery now? Guess I should start inviting my girlfriend to the Four Seasons, LOL. At 12:08, I checked Leighton's Instagram. The beige background was gone. In its place, silence. Story archive empty. Comments locked. Followers down by 120,000. At 1:30, she called again. Voicemail. Her voice cracked this time. Marcus, please, can we just talk? I don't know what you've been hearing, but it's not what it looks like. I saved it. Timestamps matter. At 2:54, a memo leaked to the press. Words in corporate gray. We view any breach of policy as a serious reputational risk. Pending the outcome of our internal review, Leighton Carter has been suspended from all public-facing roles. Effective immediately. By 4 o'clock, lifestyle channels were live-streaming reactions. A panelist said, when the influencer you trusted can't even tell the truth about a family heirloom, it makes every post suspect. This isn't about a ring anymore. It's about integrity. At 5:20, Olivia sent me a text. It's collapsing. Just hold steady. I replied, always. That night, 7:45 p.m., Don called. His voice was low, controlled. They found more. I leaned back in the chair. Tell me. She used the corporate card. Twice. Hotel suites labeled executive recovery. But the kicker, she wasn't alone. Photos attached. I already knew. He confirmed. Jake. Every time. HR wasn't calling it infidelity. They were calling it a reputational disaster. Which, in a corporation, is worse. Infidelity can be forgiven in whispers. Expense fraud lives in black and white. By 9:03, the story broke. Not gossip. News. Top influencer caught in corporate policy breach. Her photo, smiling, hair flawless, eyes empty. Subtext, credibility shattered. The comments were swift. At integrity first, so the ring and the lies. What a combo. At HR nightmare. If my company found this, she'd be gone already. At Glass House, she played herself. Hope Marcus is okay. I closed the tab. The outcome was already written. At 10:11, I opened the folder on my desktop labeled Exhibits. 5 subfolders, livestream video, pawn receipt, private chat screenshots, trust papers, bank statements. Soon a 6th. Corporate audit. The pieces were aligning. Not forced. Not hurried. Just inevitable. Leighton had built a house of glass. All I'd done was tip the first stone. Divorce court wasn't dramatic. No raised voices. No slamming doors. Just the shuffle of papers and the steady ticking of the courtroom clock. I handed the judge 5 exhibits, each in its own clear sleeve. The live stream video, the pawn receipt, screenshots of her messages to Jake, the trust papers, and the bank statements. Evidence, not emotion. Leighton sat across from me, hair tied back, no ring on her finger. She didn't look up when the judge read the ruling. Swift. Final. The house, the accounts, the assets, all stayed with me. Her lawyer leaned toward her, whispered something. She nodded once, staring at her lap. A shadow of the woman who used to tilt her chin at the camera with effortless poise. That same week, her company terminated her. No severance. No statement beyond breach of trust. Sponsors ghosted her. Followers dropped by the hundreds of thousands. Friday, 6:12 p.m., I sat in a riverside cafe. Black coffee. No sugar. The sun slipping behind the water. My phone buzzed once with her name. I let it ring. Watched it fade to silence. Across the glass, my reflection didn't smile. Didn't gloat. Just sat still, the quiet heavier than any applause. I didn't need revenge. Documentation had done the work. Some revenge is loud. But the most dangerous? It's whispering.